Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals and conciergebullion.com in lovely Lauderdale by the Sea. I'm actually on vacation right now, so my apology for not knocking out last night's video. Got into my location here. I'm actually in the up near Inverness area here, out in the woods a little bit in horse country it looks like, and internet connection, as you can see, is a little spotty here. I had a hard time getting it hooked up last night. Figured I'd just catch you in the morning. Well, beautiful cam picture this morning too. Wish it was a little more clearer here. Looks like the sun's catching all this coral just right. Beautiful place to be. By the way, if you've never been down in John Pennekamp Park and you've never snorkeled down there, they do the glass bottom boats too if you're not a snorkeler. So if you're visiting Florida, make sure you hit Pennekamp Coral Cam or Pennekamp Park down there. Beautiful place. Well, I'm in a beautiful place as well. 58 degrees this morning, which is a big change for me. I think even back home it was only, 72 this morning. A difference what a 4-hour drive north in Florida will make as far as temperatures go. And that's true. Central Florida and central and northern Florida will get temperatures down into the 50s. Meanwhile, in South Florida, we still see temperatures in the high 60s. I mean, anywhere from 10, minimum 10, and sometimes as much as a 15 and 20 degree difference in just a 4-hour drive here in Florida. But enjoying the cooler weather here is something we don't get too often in my neighborhood. And I'm sure a lot of you folks that listen to me outside the state of Florida saying, man, that's nothing. That's just like, that's t-shirt weather for us. Probably is. All right, well, let's get into today's prices here. I'm going to do a quick refresh. Don't have the coin with me. I put it in my luggage somewhere and I can't find the damn thing. So we're not spending the coin today, and probably unless I find it. I can always spin a quarter or something, but it's not the same as a silver coin, right? All right. What a yo-yo week this has been, and it's not even Wednesday right now. 3 days up and down. Monday and Tuesday getting monkey hammered like it did. Currently, we're moving back towards that 1800 mark with gold in the crooked Crimex markets, and we're moving back toward that $23 mark in silver in the Crimex markets, and platinum above $1,000 once again in these crooked manipulated Crimex markets. But all they've done this week, if you had the opportunity to lock and load, was store some more, stack some more silver and stack some more gold at their artificially cheap bullshit prices. And what I've been talking about, I don't have my spreadsheet with me. Again, I'm on vacation. I'm going to just spit out a few short videos this week. And again, next week's I got a show to do in Lakeland, Florida. I'll talk to you about that. If you're anywhere in that area next week, come by and say hello to myself and visit the show. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Markets, this has just provided a great opportunity to buy at these lower prices. And the premiums, as I've talked about last week, across the board have just gotten monkey hammered as well. And that's provided a great opportunity overall to buy, even with the price of silver up. From the mid 18s to the $19 level where we sat for a little while this last year, with premiums as high as they were. Even with silver up right now and silver going at $23 mark, the premiums have dropped so dramatically that I would not doubt that you could probably buy silver products right now, especially eagles and especially gold eagles and stuff and silver eagles, cheaper than when silver was much lower because of the premiums. Lower silver prices, the premiums were much higher. It seems like we've moved up a couple levels, but don't get me wrong, these premiums could change really quickly, just like the gold and silver prices can change quickly sometimes. These premiums can be just as fast, the wholesale bids and the bid and ask on the wholesale level, which means that the retail prices are going to change as well. Right now, there seems to be a somewhat abundance of certain products out there. It's just quiet this time of year. It typically is. Gold and silver and platinum markets have always been quiet during the Christmas season. They seem to explode up to the upside after the new year. Generally speaking, that's not always the case. But again, this is the time of year where you can usually get discounts on physical gold and silver, and prices are kind of sideways too, typically. Not today, though. We're banging up towards that 1800 level and close to that 23. And platinum, the most unloved metal of the three, sitting above that $1,000 mark. Like I said, fire sale prices, as far as the physical bullshit, the bullshit physical prices that we're seeing here, to the downside, fire sale numbers provides a great opportunity to buy these metals at super cheap prices. If you're in the sell mode or you've been waiting to sell and you have to sell, I know this sucks watching prices down this low, but it is what it is, folks. Take advantage of it if you are in the buying mode, and if you're not in the buying mode or the selling mode, just sit in the hold mode, and say that 3 times fast. Because you're going to see your upside here. I suspect it's going to be towards the beginning of the new year. But if I had a crystal ball and I could figure this out and make leverage and take everything that I own and put it on one day. I don't have a crystal ball, otherwise I'd be super rich. And oh man, and I would leverage. I would if you knew how if you knew exactly what was going to happen, you could make it'd be like going to Vegas and knowing what number was going to pop up and putting all your money on that if you had a crystal ball. But we don't, folks. I don't. I've been in this business since 1977. Been in the well, anyways, I won't get into my details. I'll do that at the end of the video. I ultimately know where precious metals are going to go on a medium and long-term basis, but on the short-term basis, not really. And the last couple of years have been really sucked, as far as since 2020 has really sucked for gold and silver. I mean, these markets have been so shit on by the big crooks, the big commercial banks that run these short positions and cap the price of gold, silver, and platinum, and allowed by the CME group, the Crimex group, and not regulated by the fucking morons in the CFTC, which is the regulatory group, the same ones that were supposed to make sure that Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX, they were going to regulate that company. Give me a break. Let me tell you one thing for sure, and I'm not afraid to say this. The CFTC is worthless as tits on a log, worthless as, hey, do your worthless comments. Put it in the comments section here. What is the CFTC is worthless as? Try to keep it clean, a little bit clean if you can. But they're totally fucking worthless. As worthless as the regulators that were supposed to be keeping an eye on Bernie Madoff were, all right? But I digress. We talk about this all the time. It kind of gets depressing talking about these crooks and these liars out there. But it is what it is, as I've said often. All right, let's get into the quote of the day, which is, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. I like this quote, and actually I was trying to... I was going to put up the quote, do as I say, not as I do, which I don't even know who made that quote. I looked, and oddly enough, there's not too much behind it as far as where that quote came from. I guess it's just something that we've humans have said for years and years and years, unattributed quote. But I like this even better. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. And that's kind of more to the point. And why do I bring that point up? Because central banks, they've been pawning off fiat currencies on us for years. Our central bank, which is the Federal Reserve, in 1913 took over about the same time IRS took over. This was a cabal of bankers that took over the U.S. money system, folks, back in 1913. Slowly took it over, got us off the gold standard, got people off of gold and silver, sound hard money, and put us into fiat nonsense, fiat bullshit, derivatives, whatever the hell you want to call it. They're casino. There's another casino for you. But these people run the world, man. I mean, central bankers run the world. You think these wars that are going on all over, the wars are between, the potential wars between China, United States, Taiwan, the potential wars between Russia, the wars we got going on with Ukraine and Russia now. Do you think these have anything to do with righteousness or doing the right? No, they don't. These are central banks right now fighting it out. These are currencies, countries. And again, central bankers run the world. A lot of people like to say, well, the weapons industry, the military-industrial complex runs the world. Well, they do to some degree, but where do they get their money to buy their weapons? Right? The fiat dollar. Where do they steal that from? Us, right? Taxes, you name it. And basically, taxes are the least of the thievery out there, if you think about it. When you talk about using a dollar to, they're basically, the U.S. dollar is a fiat currency, and they pawn this off onto the public, all of us. And this fiat currency loses its value and buying power year after year. They call it inflation, and you can call it whatever you want. It's not the inflation of the products going up. It's not that iPhones, we won't use that, but food and commodities and stuff are going up because the greedy people that produce them are trying to make more money. No, it's because of the value of the buying power of the dollar goes down. That's the same with every currency out there. And meanwhile, these crooked central bankers, these crooks and thieves that run these banks that are slowly milking the life out of every country out there that operates under a fiat currency, what do they own? They own gold. They're buying more gold. Supposedly the Federal Reserve, or I'm sorry, not the Federal Reserve, supposedly the Treasury, the United States Treasury, which is the people's money. The U.S., supposed to be the people's money. The U.S. Treasury is supposed to be the one making money and creating money backed by gold and silver, like the Constitution says. But basically, the Treasury sold out a long time ago. Again, we're not going to get into that story. And hopefully the Treasury still owns gold in Fort Knox, the U.S. Treasury, but that's even questionable. There was a lot of people that talked for years and years, including Dr. Ron Paul, that that our gold was sold or rehypothecated, or it was sold in leases, and then it never came back to us. I don't know if that's true. We don't know how much gold is in Fort Knox. You'd think they'd be very open about it, and they would do daily tours through there to make everyone feel good, but they don't. But what do these banks own, including supposedly? Well, the banks don't own it. Central bankers own it. The Treasury is supposed to own gold. But now that I think about it, maybe the Federal Reserve, a group of private bankers, actually does own our gold. Maybe they do own the national treasury of gold that's supposed to be in Fort Knox. But I don't know. But what do these central bankers worldwide, besides... Boy, that's a unique topic we should talk about sometime. The difference between the central bank, the Federal Reserve, owning gold, or our Treasury owns gold. Who actually does own the gold in Fort Knox? Is it the Fed, or is it the Treasury? Or there seems to be kind of a crossover there to some degree. All right, but what do all these central bankers worldwide own? All these bankers, whether it's the Russian central banks, Chinese central banks, Brazilian central banks, European central banks, what do they all own? They all own gold, folks, except for UK. Those idiots sold their gold a long time ago. I don't know if they replaced it or not, but who was that guy that sold all UK, England? England's fucked, man. Talk about empires in decline. England, UK, I'm sorry to say this for my brothers in UK. There's a lot of good people out there. But hey, man, a lot of good people in the US. We're having to put up with these crooks and morons that are running these countries and running our currencies and our lives. But UK, who was that guy that sold all their gold? Anyways, more or less, though, what do central banks own? The people that produce fiat want you to take fiat, want to create digital bullshit dollars that you take. What do they actually own? They own gold. And again, what does that have to do with my saying? You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. All right, and that includes do as I say, not what I do. That kind of a similar saying. And central banks. What they say is they want you fully into their fiat bullshit system that robs you year after year, and they don't want you into gold. Meanwhile, what are they owning? They own gold. Good article by Peter Schiff here via Schiff Gold. Central banks start Q4 buying more gold. And we've seen this over the years anyway. We've also known that China and Russia are de-dollarizing, and what is the best thing for them to own besides dollars? Or what's a better asset than the U.S. dollar and other currencies, the euro? Gold, gold, gold. 5,000-year track record. China and Russia and all these countries that are stacking large amounts of gold and silver are never going to wake up and hear that it went bankrupt or it just disappeared. But they will hear that with rubles, dollars, euros, you name it, Chinese yuan or whatever the heck it is out there. I should know that. Yen is, that's Japanese, okay. All of that. You wake up and it buys less and less. And it's, again, no fiat currency has survived longer than the U.S. dollar, and the U.S. dollar is getting towards its end due date here. apparently. But what banks out there bought gold? The UAE bought gold. Large gold buyer, 9 tons to its reserve. Meanwhile, does the UAE encourage their citizens to buy gold? Maybe they do. I'm not familiar with that country too much, but they're a fiat-driven country as well. They're central bankers. They're thieves and scumbags and dirtbags. Are adding gold to their stack. Meanwhile, they're probably pumping out fiat to their people. Turkey's the same way. Turkey also derives their income, and their theory comes from a fiat currency that they pawn off on their people. But meanwhile, what does their central bankers, their biggest thieves, own? 9 tons of gold they just bought in October. Uzbekistan, probably the same exact way. Uzbekistan is probably out there. Their people are out there trading fiat, worthless paper dollars, and maybe potentially in the future, like other countries, a digital dollar, fiat bullshit. Meanwhile, what do their central thieves own? Their central thieves own gold. The Bank of Kazakhstan, the same. And we all know India. Well, Peter does point out that there was a lack of gold purchases in August, was notable by India. But India, same way. What do they pawn off on their people? They pawn off worthless fucking fiat dollars and maybe digital dollars at some point as well. Meanwhile, what do their thieves and scumbags own? Gold, all right? So these thieving scumbag central bankers across the world, including our Federal Reserve, you are what you do. And what do? They hold gold. They are all buying gold. They're in the gold saving mode. And that's not what they're saying they're doing. They push the fiat bullshit on you folks. Anyways, kind of getting a point where you're getting an idea what I'm talking about. And so people have been bringing up to me that, a couple good quotes here before I go into that. Peter points out, why are central banks stocking up on gold? Bloomberg, worthless Bloomberg, does have an opinion, which I don't think is, they nailed this one. Bullion does have they didn't nail it, one crucial advantage. Unlike bonds, it doesn't bind you into a relationship with an unreliable counterparty. In a world where you can trust no one, it makes sense to bulletproof yourself with metal. Absolutely true. And another interesting quote here. Last year was the 12th consecutive net year of net purchases over time. Central bankers have bought a net total of 5,692 tons of gold. And again, that's significant, folks. These same people that are trying to rob you with their fiat are stacking up on gold and silver, telling you not to do what they do. Got me? Got my point there? All right, where was I going to go with the younger folks out here? It got me thinking that one of the things that I hear a lot of people out there talk about is, gold, buying gold and silver to trade with. All right, hey, can I get fractional gold pieces? And I need some fractional silver, because when the shit hits the fan, I'm going to need to go and trade my gold and silver for food and chickens and whatever, ammo. and that's such nonsense bullshit now, folks. In an apocalyptic world, maybe that might happen, but highly unlikely. Even in, the problem you have there is, who knows what real gold and silver looks like? We haven't been on the gold and silver standard. I mean, I was just barely old enough to remember, using Franklin's in 1964 and and clad half dollars that had silver in them, and silver quarters and stuff. I mean, I was a pre-70s baby, okay? And I remember handling gold and silver, silver coins a little bit, but not gold, obviously. When's the last time people use gold and silver in the regular medium in exchange? It's been decades and decades. The idea that in an apocalyptic time that you're going to be able to take gold and silver to a merchant or trade for some kid or somebody for services or goods, gold and silver, is bullshit, because nobody knows what it looks like. Nobody knows what the real stuff looks like, feels like. I'd say, you do, and you're probably listening to me right now. But remember, anyone that's listening to me right now is part of a small group of people, a small stack of people that understand gold and silver, own it, have bought it, have held it in their hands, get a feel for it, and might even be able to tell, for the most part, a good one from a bad one. But folks, 99% of the people out there in the world have no fucking clue what a real gold or silver coin looks like. The idea that you're ever going to use it for trade is complete bullshit. And the same thing when it comes to the the use of gold and silver. This younger generation, and 99% of the folks out there, we're a rare group. Trust me, us stackers and people that buy and sell gold and silver are a rare group. And I think we're a smart group as well, because we understand the fiat bullshit and we understand what really is money. What is real money? It's the same thing that these crooks in the central banks hold. It's gold, all right? But meanwhile, in schools and stuff, they teach this younger generation that fiat is real money, all right? But let's move on, and digital, yeah, Bitcoin's real money. Bullshit. That's a whole brainwashed generation, folks, that doesn't understand what money is, all right? And let me read a little quote here in the Peter Schiff article here, which was pretty good. People who are professional money managers that go into Wharton School and CFAs are in the industry for so long that they are basically taught, it is drummed into their head that gold is an awful investment, that it's nobody buys gold. It's just your gloom and doomers and guys with tinfoil hats. They're the conspiracy theory nut jobs. I mean, no real money manager would ever buy any gold, right? And so they have such negative opinion on gold that it actually goes to the extreme. Now I'm talking about the investment end of it, not trading it for food and stuff like this, because it goes into different areas as well. This generation, this younger generation, the generation after me, has no fucking clue what gold and silver is for the most part, what it's good for, nor do they understand, if they had to trade it, what it should look like. So not only do they think gold is useless as an investment, they think it's useless as a metal. I mean, they think it absolutely has no value whatsoever. And this is the problem that we have, folks, out there with 99% of the world. The reason that you're never going to trade gold and silver. But I believe that a time is going to be changing soon. I think we're going to be pushed into the digital world. I think that and a lot of you guys are probably saying, no, I'm never going to do it. But the more and more I look out there, the more I realize that, again, gold and silver stackers, people understand the value of real money. We're such a small percentage of people out there. 99% of the people in the world look at a dollar, and that is money to them. That is money to them. And maybe maybe it is, because that's the belief system that they have. But what they don't understand is that money is that's going to be the awakening, is when the vast majority of public realizes that dollar bill in their pocket is not real money, all right? Will that day come? I still think we're a very small segment of the population that understands gold and silver and understands what fiat really is. So I don't know. It worries me a bit. But again, when I see a growing generation and a growing group of people understanding this, and you see more and more channels out there talking about gold and silver, and more people talking about gold and silver and fiat dollars, it does give me faith that maybe we're not completely screwed, folks. Interesting article here by Warren Buffett. I saw this in Investopedia. I thought this was worth repeating. And the reason I was thinking about Warren Buffett, because he was another guy that I heard that I thought he had said that gold is just a shiny rock, not worth anything, but that quote is not attributed to him. I don't know why I thought it was. I heard it years ago, which led me to this article, which I thought was pretty cool. Why Warren Buffett doesn't invest in gold. Warren Buffett does not invest in gold. He's invested almost $1 billion in silver. Now, this is cool. I like this, and it gives me a different understanding of his mindset, okay? Doesn't mean that gold's terrible, but he does have a different mindset here. So for the reason for his aversion is not simply a dislike for precious metals. The explanation for Buffett's dislike of gold and for his enthusiasm about silver stems from his basic value investing principles. So he has these, basic value investing principles, all right? His opinion on what an investment is and how it should be looked at. Now, I'm not quite sure what his view on gold is, and we're going to get into that. Let me read this. Warren Buffett has been very vocal about his disdain for gold as an investment, but it is an investment. Does Warren Buffett believe that gold is money? Perhaps he does. I guess, it's all, that question wasn't asked here. But he does have a disdain for gold as an investment. He sees little to no value in it. What Buffett refers to as lack of value results from a lack of usefulness, all right? Now, that's what Buffett thinks he invests in. Buffett invests in usefulness. And basically, it says it right here. He once stated about gold, it doesn't do anything but sit there and look at you. But Warren Buffett, out of all people in the world, should understand what wealth preservation means as well. And I bet you Warren Buffett has learned about wealth preservation since 2008. So he's learned a lot about that, especially watching the dollar getting trashed. And he probably understands more about fiat than he ever has, but I digress. But But as an investment, if he looks at things from their usefulness, yeah, he would view gold that way. One of Buffett's basic principles of investing is one should only invest in things that are useful. There we go. And that serve some purpose and that supply some practical need that people have. I think, though, what Buffett is missing the point is that gold does serve a purpose and supplies practical need in wealth preservation. Now, does he consider wealth preservation an investment? I don't know. Do you? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Silver has a myriad of industrial and medical uses. In medicine, silver is used in band-aids, catheters, and as healing agent for burns. It's also used for water purification. So he goes into all the different things that silver is used for. Therefore, silver meets Buffett's requirements of having a real and identifiable value. Even better from the point of an investor, silver is almost uniquely suited. So, interesting point about Warren Buffett, and again, what I thought was a quote of him, that it was a useless shiny rock. Apparently, that's somebody else that said that. And Warren Buffett is a big silver guy, apparently, because he does see the usefulness on it. And that brings up another good point, folks. With the price, and Ted Butler brought this up recently, is that the default in COMEX is unlikely, on silver, in the silver markets, is unlikely to be caused by, where is Mr. Butler? I'm going to give him a little credit for that comment. Potential bust in the COMEX markets on silver, in the silver market, will not be some investor coming in and trying to corner the market like the Hunts did. Chances are, just like the Hunt brothers, the CME group, the crooked CME group, and the crooked bankers out there will nip that in the bud real quickly. However, the real default, and I think Ted's absolutely right, will come from manufacturers who the CME group and the big bankers will have a harder time saying no to, because the manufacturers, producers, people that do production, make things, useful things, need silver for mass. They need silver for photoelectronic devices, photoelectric devices. They need silver for water purification. They need silver. So silver has so many industrial uses. And when they have a hard time getting silver, for production uses and for manufacturing and industry, where are they going to go for it? They're going to go to the COMEX, they're going to ask for delivery, and they're going to have a much harder time saying no to those guys than they did to some investors. I mean, CME Group could spin it that, oh yeah, well, we didn't really default. We were just stopping a bunch of guys from trying to clean out our silver market, all right? Whereas they'd have a much harder time saying that, no, we can't produce any a mask, a surgical mask with silver impregnated in it because CME Group won't give us our silver. That wouldn't look as good. Ted Butler kind of points that out. I think it's interesting. And, well, where do we go from here, folks? I'm on vacation. I said I was going to keep it short, and you know me, I just start blabbing off. All right. I'm going to go into best deals. I talked about them this week. I didn't bring my spreadsheets with me, folks, but great deals out there. And I mentioned that $5 and $10 United States Mint proof and uncirculated gold coins like 1984 Olympics, 87 constitutional coins, 86 Statue of Liberty, $5 gold coins and $10 gold coin, not tens. The good prices out there. I think you can pick them up for anywhere from 3 to 5% over melt. Can't beat that price. It's true constitutional gold, if you want to call it that. And gold eagles have even come down. Spot plus 150. I still like gold bars much better at spot plus $73 over than the other, at gold eagles 150. I'd rather own a gold bar plus 3 ounces of silver versus a gold eagle for sure. As far as silver goes, what's the best deals out there in silver? Well, actually, I can just go backwards here. Let's go backwards and see if I got the silver page. There's the 5 libs right there. Again, 3 to 4% over melt for a fractional piece of gold made by the U.S. Mint, constitutional gold. You can't beat the numbers on that, especially when you consider that fractional gold eagles are just fucking stupid money. So are maple leafs and other things. Let me move into silver real quick. 1 ounce gold bars, there's your best deal. Oh, South African gold elephants, I got a great deal on those, folks. Spot plus $95. You can't beat that. If you like pretty cool designs and you still want a sovereign nation coin, I've got these in stock. I can beat anybody's prices on them out there. APMEX, SD, JM, Miles Franklin, all my local guys. And again, all the people I respect too, because who do you want to beat if you're competitive? You want to beat the respectful, you want to beat the good guys out there. You want to be able to say, I can beat such and such company, not some bullshit little company or some company that's not respectable, obviously. Gold elephants are a good deal. Got them in the store at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals if you need them for local delivery only. Best deals out there in silver are still 1 ounce silver rounds, all the different types. I believe they're still spot plus 375 or so. Maybe they're higher, I don't know. And 100 ounce bars are a great deal. Folks, premiums, even though prices of silver up, the premiums are down. As I said, a lot of these products right now that you were buying with silver at 1850, you can probably get them even cheaper now with silver being $3 and $4 higher because the premiums, again, right now, I think it's a seasonal thing. It's quiet this time of year, and I think a lot of precious metals people, especially in the United States, are already bought in. Remember, we are a small segment of the population out there, folks. I keep saying 99%, but I would bet you, 99.98% of the population out there doesn't stack gold and silver coins. We are a small group of people. Again, what are the best deals out there, gold and silver? Just to sum it up in a paragraph, buy the least expensive premium in a industry recognized product that you can find out there. That's the best advice I can give anyone. I don't even have to tell you what the deals are out there and how much I can beat this guy and that guy. As long as you're buying a recognizable, industry recognizable product at the least expensive premium, you're doing good, okay? No matter where you live or who you're buying from. Yesterday's video, or the day before's video, I didn't do last night's video. Again, I'm on vacation. I had no internet connection. I'm sorry, man. No coin toss. Wow. I'm really falling down on the job here. So, gold and silver get monkey hammered again. That was on Monday. Yesterday it wasn't much better. It was about the same. Markets are up again. Let me do a quick refresh. I'm kind of curious since we've been talking. Are we? Yeah, we're trending upward again, folks. Looks like we're going to probably maybe. Probably maybe. Is that a double negative? Probably would be yes, maybe, I don't know, overthinking it. But we could be over 1,800 by the end of the week and over 23 again. And silver and platinum, who knows, mid thousands. Unloved metal for sure, and I'm sure manipulated just as much as the rest. It's the COMEX markets. What don't they probably manipulate? And a lot of people are going to be in big surprise when they find out it ain't just the gold, silver, and platinum markets these fuckers manipulate. It's other markets as well. But I'm sure people that deal in other markets know that as well. Yesterday's video, I want to talk about a few comments. Haven't been reading comments here very often lately, but I'll do that today. I'm on vacation. No phones are ringing. My employees aren't asking me, Brian, what about this? What about that? Someone wants to talk to you. Yeah, I do get a little breathing room today. Eli, what's up? Hammered our silver. Thanks to our old friends. Yep, can't argue with that. Eli, how you doing? You're number one there, too. Sorry to be off topic. Pray for... I got to wonder, he is not the most well-liked man out there right now for... listen, I got to give him a lot of credit for free speech. And it's kind of weird that we couldn't rely on our own government for free speech. Well, it's not weird. It's fucking typical now. These scumbags in D.C. and these scumbags that run our world, whether they're bankers or politicians, are all scumbags. And a billionaire is protecting our rights to free speech. Isn't that freaking just... I woke up in clown world back in 2020, folks, probably earlier than that. But definitely the lockdowns were a clown world time. That's when the clowns came out and started ruling the world. But Elon is, I believe that 100%. He definitely needs protection, that's for sure. I hope he's got some good security. What's up, Rob? How you doing? Got the flag up there. I'm a patriot as well. Not a patriot of the flag, per se. I'm a patriot of Americans. I love my country. I love the land. I love the people. And I love I love our Constitution. I just can't stand the politicians and the agencies that are running our lives out there. I think they could all fall off a big fucking cliff, and I wouldn't miss them. What's up, Gary Moore? Don't figure out what metal's doing. What stock market should go up? Yep. What stock market it should go up? Why metals doing what stock market? Okay, Gary. I'm sorry. Lost me a little bit there. Had to think. Yeah, it seems like the metals prices have been following the stock market somewhat. Remember, I pointed it out consistently for 2 or 3 weeks or a month or something like that, and I haven't talked about it in the last week or two. But yeah, it seems that. But I think it has something to do again with the dollar. And remember, metal prices, gold, silver, and platinum prices are completely rigged. Not just to the downside, to the upside too. Until that rigging stops, they're going to just do whatever they want with the price of gold, silver, and platinum, and they got to use some kind of excuse or something to follow. So a strong dollar supposedly is why the stock markets go down, and gold and silver markets go down. But that's the excuse. That's the narrative that's used to drive these prices up and down. The real reason gold and silver go up and down is because of a bunch of collusive commercial short positions out there that cap these prices and manipulate these prices up and down and put billions in their pockets illegally doing it, like J.P. Morgan did and get caught for, and all the others do. It's a crooked frickin' marketplace to the up and down side. Christopher McCormick says, thoughts on 24-karat jewelry worth accumulating if the price is slightly over spot. Yeah, slightly over spot, as long as you're testing it, and it is 24 karat, not 22, not 21. If it's pure 24 karat jewelry and it's had XRF testing, and you got a good reliable source for that, and you can buy it for a slightly tiny bit over spot, that's not bad. Now consider when you go to sell it, you got to find yourself a good dealer that's not going to hammer you on the discount, because it is going to get discounted when you go to sell it by anywhere from 3 to 10%. By a good dealer, I'm going to say closer to 5 to 10%. But we'd probably discount at 5%. But I don't want to promise anything because we don't know what the future holds as far as premiums or discounts go. American Patriot says you should open an online precious metal shop if you had, people ask me that all the time. I would love to do it. The problem is that these sites. I mean, it's quite an extensive project and lots of work to make these sites. Like the ones that I admire: SD, AppMex, JM Bullion. Those are the 3 biggies out there. Big online 800-pound gorillas. Man, they're multi-million-dollar websites to create that, to keep it up, the security, hedging, making sure that, dude, that I'd love to do it. But it's not like the simple old days where you just start a website. That is major stuff. That's multi-million-dollar project, and it's multi-million-dollar headaches too as well. As much as I would love to do that, I'm not going to. I'm not going to create an online website for buying gold and silver. Again, try to compete with those guys. Forget about it. Why would I want to do that? I've got my own niche. I've got a brick and mortar store here in South Florida where you can buy anywhere from $1 worth of gold to millions of dollars worth of gold, silver, and platinum, and face to face. Even better than those guys. But that doesn't help if you don't live in Florida and you can't visit me. However, I did create ConciergeBullion.com for larger volume buyers. And again, I know it doesn't help the smaller guys, but the smaller guys, I always tell you, find yourself a good local dealer like my brick and mortar commercial wear coins. But for you large purchasers out there, guys buying large amounts, over 100 ounces of gold, more than 1,500 ounces of silver, that's what ConciergeBullion.com is for. And again, not standard website, not like you click a button and you buy it. It's got a real number with a real person, me. Concierge Bullion Services is basically me. You get direct contact with me, not my staff, anyone else. You work directly with me. You buy directly from me. I hook up your deals. But again, minimum 1,500 ounces of silver, 100 ounces of gold. And we do ship anywhere in the continental U.S. Secure shipping as well. I'll get into that at the end. Appreciate that, but I wanted to explain why I haven't done that. It's just a project that at my age and the amount of money and the competitiveness and that, I'm just not, I wouldn't take that up. I think it'd be a losing deal for me and my customers. Stick with what you do well sometimes. If I was younger, I might go for it. Mellow Stacker says nothing but corruption is coming out of the surrounding, and yeah, agree 100%. And crypto is nothing more than an electronic fiat. Fiat. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. It's just another form of fiat. And people that are all about crypto, they don't understand sound money. They just don't understand what sound money is. All right, and a lot of them are the younger generation as well. But remember, even the older generation, I'm in my, I'm well above 50. Don't want to tell you exactly how old I am, but I'm over that 50 age for sure. And people, even my age and a little bit older, didn't grow up in the gold, didn't grow up using gold coins for exchange. We grew up with silver coins, and we were the tail end of it. My generation and the older generation, I would say people from 70. Hold on. No, even people that were 100 years old right now, they don't barely remember trading gold, using gold for money. Now, they know about silver, and my generation barely knows about silver, but the generation before me, they have no fucking clue at all, none at all about gold and silver. Again, folks, we are a very small percentage of people that understand this and know how this works. And crypto is not sound money, all right? Anonymous Andy says the Rothschilds Central Bank Trade Depression. Yeah, interesting history about the Rothschilds there. Boy, they've been around a long time too, still making money today. Owners of central banks too as well, or they sit on the boards of some central banks or something like that. Yeah, they're part of the crooked system. Have been for centuries, or centuries, I guess I can say. Yeah. Celtic Knot says the more the monkey hammers a metal, the more monkey hammer metals are on sale. That's true. Dude, buy a coin pinger. Oh, you didn't like my manual old school coin pinging, dude? MB, I have a coin pinger. It doesn't, I don't know. It's just, I tried it. A little plasticky thing. Bing, it just doesn't work the same. There's no substitute for taking two silver coins and dinging them together. You get that distinct ring versus a plastic pinger. That's my opinion. Maybe I just am not hearing things right. Wharton Fissel says at the carnival, I popped that $5 bill off the rock at the Plinking Arcade. However, the magnet set the $5 back in the seat. There's always cotton candy. Yes, sir, there is always cotton candy, making lemonade out of lemons for sure. Jerome Cardinal says, the more relaxed, passive, just enjoy them, the more the universe daily gets me with abundance. Good for you. Namaste to you as well, Jerome. Silverliner says, silver has a nice ring. With that said, it's a long way from ringing the cash register. Yeah, it is for right now, but that'll change. Chris Dutcher, what's up? One of these days when you get some moments, I hope everything's going well with you guys. Yeah, give me a call. Call me in the store 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. If I'm in, my staff will put you through with me. And sometimes I'm super busy, man, so I don't have a lot of time to talk. So if I sound like super busy, I'll definitely get back to you, or you can get back to me. But definitely, Chris, love to hear from you. Love to kind of put that voice with the comments here. Joe McDonald's, yeah, ringing in the ear. I lost my hearing at a concert at Florida Atlantic University by the Rockets. You remember that? Anybody remember the Rockets? I was a teenager at the time, I think. But the problem was they set up kind of amateur-like, and I got stuffed up right by the speakers. My ears rang for 3 days. I definitely had hearing damage from that. See what rabbit holes you guys can get me to go down? What's up, Joe? Anyway, thanks for commenting. Tempori says, you ready? 2/3 of government getting flush. Interesting. I did look at number 22,380. I don't know the significance of that. I'm not quite sure whether it'll get tested or not, or whether it even, interesting though, because the Supreme Court only takes up, my understanding, the Supreme Court only takes up about, correct me if I'm wrong, 70 cases a year, some really small amount. Might even be less than that. I might have overstated that, but a lot of people think they sit there every day and they're doing cases. No, 70 cases a year, I think, are the max. So just to get your case on a docket's interesting, and that kind of case getting on a docket to me blows my mind. I'm surprised it didn't get thrown out. But interesting there. Thanks for bringing that up. How do you feel about the price of gold and silver dropping soon and then rocketing off? Predictions? I don't know. Again, these markets are run by crooks and thieves. You don't know what they're going to do to the upside or downside. So tough to say. Joe Rock, we're not surprised. I'm still buying precious metals. Cool for you. Welco, be well as well. Michael Matthews says it figures. There, a sip of coffee for you, sir. Linda Quaidland. Don't you think we're in death throes of those who are corrupt? I think that they're twitching, and they're not twitching. I think they're twitching. That was a bad choice. Not twitching, but I think they're kind of uncomfortable right now, and I think that there is a lot of stuff, with Elon buying Twitter, free speech kind of getting maybe a second breath of air here, maybe before it dies or comes back. I think that there are some strange things going on out there, and I think that that these morons, idiots, and evil people in our governments worldwide and our central banks worldwide, yeah, I'd like to see them all go off that cliff to a burning pit. That's for sure. Anyways, don't get me started. The dollar is the biggest unicorn out there. Chairman Xi visits Saudi Arabia this month, and Saudi will sign a letter of intent to join BRICS at that meeting. Yeah, that'll be interesting if the Saudis join BRICS. Wow, that would be very interesting. I don't know. I haven't heard that rumor. CBDC dollars, you'll never get me to accept one of those. Never. Have no interest in it. Colin Spiller says, I've been buying gold fillings from somewhere local. Colin, well, yeah, I could see, is that you right there? I could see you doing that. If that is indeed you, I'm only kidding. That's not bad. At $25, you are way cheaper than a dentist, that's for sure. Jason says, I can hear freedom ring. Ring, baby, ring. That's for sure. Thanks for the video. I've been buying 5-gram bars. They fit my budget. Love Florida. Thanks, James. Appreciate that. I love Florida, too. All of these great Florida cams, including the one I put up, which was the Sloppy Joe cam, and the live Sloppy Joe cam in Florida Keys. Let's take a look at, let's see what the fish are doing here. Hold on. I got to put that on live. See if it pops up a live cam. Well, I think I'm going to close this video at that, folks. Again, I'm on vacation. I said I was going to do a short one, and here I ended up blabbing for how long? Oh, look at that. Beautiful barracudas. Man, there's a school of barracudas. You notice there's no other fish around right now. Wow, I'm glad I pulled that up. Pretty cool. Pentacam, Coral Cam, great cam, by the way, folks. Great way to spend your mornings. Cup of coffee, watching the live Coral Cams. Well, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar with my quote of the year that says, think for yourself, question authority. And of course, you know why I say that. I'm tired of saying it, and I've said it for a year now. That's the end of the year is last you'll see this statement. I hope it kind of burned into everyone's mind. That's it. This is Brian with ConciergeBullion.com. If you're buying more than 1,500 ounces of silver, more than 100 ounces of gold, contact us. You have direct one-on-one service with me, not with my employees or anyone else. This is basically a concierge service by me that you're working with me. We don't have an online where you can click and buy anything. This is done over the phone, very personal and very private. And if you live anywhere in South Florida, and you're buying anywhere from $1 worth of gold and silver platinum to $1 million worth, come by and see us. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. And again, if you're not buying larger quantities, you can't deal with me through ConciergeBullion.com, and you can't come to South Florida to our brick and mortar to buy whatever you want, any quantities. I highly recommend you find a good local dealer. I advertise to beat APMEX, SDJ, and Bullion, and the big guys out there like Miles Franklin on larger deals. Again, if you're going to beat the people, if you're going to advertise to beat prices, you want to beat the best, and that's what I do. Well, hey, thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow, and hope you have... Oh, don't forget Lakeland. The Lakeland Collectorama Coin Show is next week, and that show will have coins, collectibles, gold and silver products of all different types, jewelry, you name it. It starts December 15th through the 17th next week, and I am running that show now, so come by and say hello to me as well. Hey, that's it. I'm done, and have yourself a great day. Talk to you soon.